Welcome back to the WatchTower Film Podcast, the film review podcast on the Towercast Network. By Cinephiles, for Cinephiles.
I'm ready to defile.
You're always ready to defile.
Yep.
I can only hear out of one ear.
Really?
I might
Oh
pop
man.
that left.
Okay,
Right.
everybody get your ears prepped.
There we go.
Oh, okay.
I
I was expecting like the buzz.
it was like the mug you guys dropped the other day.
Oh my god.
It was just.
Ooh. Or like the lamp.
Oh, dude.
It's our subject.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Can we have?
He is very sad about this.
I'm sorry. I'm off the gene.
You know
off the
what's
perk?
sad?
I'm
No,
off
no.
the
Here's the
perk.
saddest thing. That lamp was purchased when I purchased Nomeo over there.
Wait,
And
which Nomeo?
Nomeo.
I thought we named him like Steve or George or something.
Nomrano James.
No, Morano James.
Yeah, no. When I purchased my little no, it's because like that's supposed to be my desk in the back, and the whole idea was
Supposed
like,
to, it is.
no, but I remember you guys were like, why are you putting stuff here? You have a desk, go over there, and it was like this shitty, sad like
Pile.
space. Yeah, like there was nothing there, so I'm like, maybe if I make it homey, it'll feel good. So then I added a gnome
I get that.
and a little lamp.
Yeah, man.
And
I like curate my desk
Yeah.
as you should.
Yeah, no, so that's why to me it was like the first step in like I'm gonna make this home, and then like I added the little lamp, and then we took it on set. It worked great on set. Also, we're back from set.
We are back from
we
set. That's
we
why
just
long
finished a
weekend.
film set, and we still had to lock in for you guys and watch a banger.
Absolutely.
Honestly,
Subscribe, like, and follow.
Oh,
Absolutely.
we do this shit for you guys.
before I finish my lamp story, do you want to introduce the people in the room?
I sure do want to.
Wait, Delao, can you see these people that you're talking about in the room?
Is this
No.
real?
Is this
Is this real life?
I mean, I just want you to really think about it, Delao. Are you even
You're
awake
real.
right now?
Huh?
Are you even awake right now?
I am.
What's your legal name?
What's your social security number?
You can't wake up if you don't go to sleep.
How
You
long did
can't
you
wake
take?
up if you don't go to sleep.
You can't wake up if you don't go to sleep.
You can't wake up if you don't go to
What
sleep.
time did you poop yesterday?
We are back, continuing our cinematic auteur series. This is week 2 of Scorsese month.
more like
Oh, wait.
week dose.
Whoa. Who did we cover last week?
Yo, mama. Next
Oh.
question.
She is a lovely lady.
We she very she
is.
Yeah,
is.
she is.
We have to give a shout out to Miss Anna.
Yeah.
I won't give a last name.
Shout out
Her
to
last
Joe
name is-
Mama.
thank
Well,
you.
Wait,
Actually,
he
I
already
almost
says his
exposed
mother.
I know, that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. I won't give a last
Woo.
name, but she
Well-
allowed us to film in her house for
Yeah.
4 days,
Shout out to
Yes.
Joe Mama.
and it was great. So thank you,
Yeah.
Mama Nunez, Mama
Thank you.
CK.
You just
Nunez.
luckily
That's
for
not
you,
her
that's
last
not her
name.
last
I
name.
know.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
People know your last name. It's not that hard to put the dots together.
Mama Eric.
Mama CK. Mama CK.
Yeah,
Mama
Mama
CK.
CK.
Mama say
Appreciate
mama.
it.
Mama say, Mama son, Mama.
Mama Seth.
We are back from set. Literally wrapped late last night or / early this morning.
I went to bed at 5 in the morning.
Same dog.
Saying,
What time did you wake up, Carlos?
At
5 in the morning.
6.
Really? So you got an hour's sleep?
No, I mean I did go to bed at like 3.
do you want the
Oh,
law
okay.
to slap you a bit?
Who?
You want the
You
law
want
to
the
slap
I
you?
want the law to slap me the way Keitel slaps De Niro. Just, like an Italian, like a true slap.
Hey, Maron!
Maron.
Hey, you
Mr. Michael Delau is joining me, offering a cinematography perspective today.
I am present.
You are present.
Yes, you are.
Mr. Jean-Eric Oster offering an acting perspective.
I am also present.
Yes, you
Oh,
are.
wow.
Wow.
I
That
love
was-
the
that was-
accent.
That was original.
Thank you. I tried.
Russian is original?
That's the only accent I could do, bro. Bring out the vodka.
Oh, yeah. Russian is the thing. You got the hair for it, or lack thereof.
Got the penis,
Mr.
too.
Austin Young, making sure this edit is going well, and amongst other things.
Yes.
Howdy, gentlemen. How we
Offering
feeling?
an editing perspective.
How we
salutations.
feeling?
How we feeling?
I almost did it. Offering an editing, producing perspective. And
Is there something wrong?
God damn it.
Damn it. God
Mr. CK, Eric CK Nunez,
Woo, I love that guy.
offering a producing perspective amongst other things. And we do have a special guest sitting in the back.
Yes,
I don't
we
even
do.
know if he's in frame and camera.
He's a
so
little shy right now, but
Yeah.
He's
Yeah,
shining
what
it
the hell
up.
are you doing back there?
we want to give him a beautiful shout out because He's also the director of the film
He
that we
did
just
direct
wrapped.
the film that we
this
just
morning.
wrapped. so
Writer and
shout
director.
out.
His name
of-
is
Writer director Eric Sanchez, who's also an avid Scorsese fan.
All we can see are just his arms.
Yeah,
why
we
aren't
only
you
saw
in
some
the
fingers.
go
Go get in the
here?
frame.
He's a little camera shy.
Hey, moron.
And I'm your humble film servant, Carlos M. La Torre, offering a writing director perspective.
What's
We
up?
are back to talk about Marty on the eyebrow month. As
I have a lot of questions
brow.
for
Great
you.
Mark.
on the brow month.
Got a lot of comments to make towards you.
I'm sure you do. We are going to be talking about his. I like to call it
2005's.
definitely not 2005.
Oh,
1973.
1973. His arrival film, Mean Streets.
Arrival.
Way back in the day.
More like Jerk Streets.
When
Jerk
New York was
Streets.
New York.
Yeah.
You know?
When New York was New York, I like that you said that because I think we take for granted how much of
New
a time
Yorkisms?
capsule cinema is.
Yes.
And like you can't go back to that. I think a lot about the, like there's a thing in How I Met Your Mother where they're like, New York used to be dirty and grimy and great, and then the rents got a little higher and the streets got a little cleaner, and now it's something so different.
Yeah.
And though that's I guess good, it's you lose a version of New York.
You know where I noticed that? They were just walking into the doors. But like now in New York, you can't just walk into a building.
Yeah, no, there's a ton of it. But again, I think we take for granted how much of a time capsule cinema can be. And Mean Streets captures New York in a very, very gritty, grounded way. Very different than even, say, The Godfather that's in the same era. It captures it very different, in my opinion.
I think those 70s New York films, they just grabbed it.
Yeah.
There's something that still
Yeah.
feels so indie about the way they did those
Right.
productions, but even though they were like fucking top notch, it's just like Dog Day Afternoon.
Right,
I know
absolutely.
that was like what, early 80s, but I mean
Yeah.
it still kind of has that same
It
vibe.
still maintained that for
Yeah.
sure. But again, it's like it's almost like they utilize New York as this backlot. It's what backlots are based on. You know what I mean? The brownstones and the gum on the street and the I like to think of it like the urban cowboy, not the urban cowboy, midnight cowboy.
Whoa, I got a question for you. Midnight Cowboy is Dustin Hoffman, right?
Mhm. John
I-
Voight, Dustin Hoffman.
If
John
if
Voight.
you're watching this podcast, you know who you are. I was right.
Jeez.
It was that the bet if it was Dustin Hoffman?
Yeah, they said that it wasn't. So
Yeah,
yes,
suck it,
is.
Alan.
You know, you can just Google it.
No, I think I know what he's talking about.
My favorite memory of Dustin Hoffman is his entourage.
honestly, not.
Entourage.
Yeah, don't they go to his house when he places the bets with
No, man.
the... Yeah.
That's Meryl
That's not
Streep.
Dustin Hoffman.
I don't
Don't they
remember
talk
how-
about Dustin Hoffman?
They
Talk about
no,
it.
they don't. It's gosh, the guy from Easy Rider.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Philip
fucking
Seymour
Jack
Hoffman.
Nicholson.
No.
Rest in peace, our Lord
Gosh,
and Savior, whose birthday
director,
was.
co-director of
week
Easy
ago.
Rider. How am I blanking on
Ah,
this? Blue Velvet.
Pesci.
Baby wants Blue Velvet. That guy.
Oh, baby. The white guy?
The actor. That actor.
Oh, my goodness. I'm not too sure.
Anyways,
Oh, it's Dennis Hopper.
Dennis Hopper. Dennis
Ooh,
Hopper.
Apocalypse Now too, huh?
Yeah, Dennis
Fucking-
Hopper. He was the photographer. Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
He did-
really?
You know, he was on acid for most of those shots.
Oh yeah, absolutely. For those 2 years,
Yeah.
he was on that. So
He was on-
he says that on Entourage, like, because Vinny's homeless in that season, and he's like, "Well, I got to tell you, I did 6 months on Apocalypse in a cave, and
Oh, yeah. yeah.
God is my favorite decorator."
That's honestly a
Great.
bar.
Yeah, that's great.
Holy shit! You got to see if you're into that. If you're into that kind of acting style, you should watch the interviews that Harry Dean Stanton has talking about him and Brando.
Harry Dean Stanton was an original man. Harry
Dude.
Dean Stanton, like, go watch Paris, Texas, first and foremost. But
And then Repo Man
That-
right after that double feature.
yeah. But he was an original man. Like his conversations with Lynch are the best.
Oh, I
I
gotta
think his
check those out.
conversations with David Lynch are the funniest.
Gotta check that out.
But yeah, we're gonna talk about that kind of what Mean Streets captures in that type of time capsule. But I think it just in a much more grounded way.
You know that I feel like if you lived in this time era, like in New York, I feel that Scorsese's able to really capture it to, like, you can even almost smell it from the screen.
Yeah. He lived it. That's
good.
important to note. It's the equivalent. Most people see New York as New York because New York is a famous city. But it's like us making a film about El Paso.
it's
It's
like-
quite literally the exact same thing. Mute me as I pass it over to him.
I have a
Go.
question.
Guy with the hand, what's up?
Guy with a hat.
Guy with the El Paso Film
Guy with
Festival
the
T-shirt
glasses.
official selection.
Long-
Ow!
Oh, That was
Yeah.
last
Guy
year.
with the
Was
phone on the
last
lap.
year.
Go ahead.
Pretty cool.
Speaking of which, keep an eye out
Go get some.
on El Paso Film Festival socials. I don't know. I kept trying to think if it's out yet or
This
not. But
comes out in 2 weeks from recording.
all right, we're going to
Well,
make the announcement
keep-
next week.
Keep your eye on the El Paso Film Festival social
Yeah,
Stay
media.
tuned.
there's
You
a lot
won't wanna
going
miss
on.
it.
And
Yes.
get your badges, get your tickets. It's gonna be
Yeah.
fun.
What
Be
we
there
can
or be
announce-
square.
Yeah, go get some.
What we can announce is one of our films will be screening.
At least one of our films will be screening. We'll be screening our new film 000 for sure. at,
000.
the El Paso Film Festival.
What was the working title on that one?
The other Fall Guy.
The Other Fall Guy.
Yeah.
It's the word.
El
Not to be
Otro-
mistaken with
The Fall Guy. Yeah. That's
Anyways.
part of the comedy in that
Yeah.
title. You have questions?
I had a question.
Hey, put that rope down. We
do you
talked
mean?
about this.
Oh, it slipped a little bit.
I can imagine a blind person hearing that and they're like, "No, Michael's gonna do it."
Don't
We've talked
do it.
about this.
No, Mean Streets.
That's not what we're talking about.
Yeah,
Yes.
tell me how you really feel
That was
about
a deep question. Wow.
No. Out of Scorsese's filmography that I've seen thus far, this one feels the most different, and I know that you have a much better understanding of like his trajectory. This is obviously not like his first or even second film. This is like what, fourth down the line?
Third.
Third down the
Third,
line.
technically, yeah.
As junior.
But it to me, it's a completely different side of an auteur that I highly respect, and I like we talked about previous ones where you see they're developing that voice and then it manifests itself more later on.
Right.
Why this one? What was is I really want to understand the rationale for why this was on the pick for his auteurship month.
Yeah. I think Mean Streets, is naturally a close cousin of Goodfellas, but it's not a close cousin of Goodfellas the way Casino is a close cousin of Goodfellas. There's a very big misconception about the gangster picture, and I think this is a lot more grounded. I think this is a character piece about guilt and obsession and wanting to please people and wanting to also get out of a lifestyle that you see a light at the end of the tunnel. I think this is exploring a ton of themes, though it's fun and funny and witty and has a lot of heart. I think it's exploring. I think people miss the point, and I think that's why Mean Streets is special. I also think Mean Streets is special because if you're able to backtrack enough, and it's not easy to backtrack on Scorsese's filmography because of the grandiose kind of type of storytelling that he does. It's packaged in a grandiose package, but it is very grounded. They're all character studies. They're all the fall of Rome. And Mean Streets is no different. But because he's been a master of like packaging them in these big packages in these big films, if you go back, you strip all of that away. And Mean Streets is kind of like, again, his arrival. Everything after Mean Streets was big again. Everything before Mean Streets was not. And if you're able to, they're not easy watches. I'll be the first one to tell you.
A little rough.
They're rough. They're rough around the edges because they just are. They're low budget films, and they're including this one. This film was a $500,000 film. That's what it ballooned to. It was really less than that. But everything before that, things like Who's That Knocking at My Door and Boxcar Bertha. Boxcar Bertha was his first chance at something related to studio pictures. It was produced by Roger Corman and his company, and it was the master of B films and C films, and that's who I think his company was called New Horizons. And Roger Corman was a legend in Hollywood. Is a legend in Hollywood. He just passed away last year. And it was sad because we were supposed to have him on the podcast. I was already talking to his assistant and stuff, and then he passed away. But he's a legend. Roger Corman discovered Scorsese, Spielberg, De Palma. Like, this dude gave these dudes their first shots, including Spielberg with Sugarland Express, or it might have been another TV film before that. But
So he's the reason why the film school brats
Yeah.
are the film school brats.
yeah,
That's
he gave them
insane.
their first shots when studios were still trying to figure out what to do in the 60s. And
This guy's good.
Roger Corman was just a legend. So Roger Corman gave money to Scorsese and said, hey, I want you to do this train robbery type of film. And that's what Boxcar Bertha is. And it's cool, man. It's this hippie-esque Western. It's this really weird Western, but it's fun and it's cool, but it's not grandiose. It feels cheap. It feels cheap, and most of Roger Corman's productions feel cheap. He was big for exploitation films, blaxploitation films, you know. These quick, I don't want to call them cash grabs because they weren't, but they were the types of films that would screen at what our version of dollar theaters are.
Look, the most recent things he made was The Jungle Demon.
Yeah, exactly.
Abduction,
Yeah.
Death Race 4.
Yeah, yeah.
Wait, he did
Who left the
Abduction
fridge
with
open?
Taylor Lautner?
I don't know.
Yes.
Yo,
Yeah.
that movie used to fuck. That was a
But
banger.
that's
That was a good
Corman.
one.
That's Corman. You know, so that's where Scorsese comes from in a sense. But what happened with this leads into Mean Streets. What?
Can I read off the funniest one I see here for Corman?
Yeah.
Sharktopus. Shark, and then it's like shark and octopus combined versus Terracuda.
Oh, I've
wow.
seen that one.
Have you really?
Sharktopus versus Terracuda. Yeah,
Wait,
it's
who
a
directed it?
pterodactyl mixed with a barracuda. That thing.
Of course
Oh,
you've
we
seen
can see
it.
it.
Of course you've seen it.
Yeah, something you would see.
The thing about Corman is that he always saw the opportunity. I'm willing to bet he saw the success of Sharknado and decided to make that.
Dino Shark.
Roger Corman was
That's
known,
fucking
for instance,
hard.
the exploitation thing that feeds directly into Mean Streets.
Yeah.
The blaxploitation thing, he saw the success of Shaft, and Shaft was a big film and it made a lot of money. And he said, "Hey, let's just do another one of those. Let's do a couple of those so right now that it's hot." That's who Roger Corman was, and so yeah, all these kind of rip-offs and inspired by, but again, nonetheless,
Asylum Pictures.
he discovered
Asylum
great
Pictures.
talent.
Shout out
But
to Asylum Pictures. You guys paid me for a while. This is not hate to you, Michael.
You worked with Asylum?
Yeah, they're well. I don't work with Asylum. I worked with the people that like directed and produced for Asylum, but they've moved on to bigger things, and I work with them like the DirecTV shit and all that other stuff. Yeah, those are the guys.
I was gonna say so is Asylum like disbanded? Like they don't make things anymore? Or?
I think they still do. Actually, yeah, they still do. And the last that I heard, they shoot like 100, 90 or 100 pages in 5 days, 4 days.
Whoa.
Yeah,
That's how
those guys.
Sharknado was.
Crazy.
Yeah, that they do straight up. Like everyone's kind of like, "Fuck, I got to work on another Asylum to pay the bills." But they shoot like 16 to 20 pages a day.
Are they profitable?
I mean, clearly.
Clearly, yeah.
They're paying. Yeah.
Yeah, they
I
got
mean,
bangers.
it's straight to DVD, or I mean, our version of straight to DVD.
But what's the business model for that? Like, I mean,
It's like anything else, right? It's like I like to think of them as like the candies that you get at the machines at the grocery store. You know, they're
pretty
just
good.
these quick, easy, cheap,
Yeah.
on my way out things, and there's an audience for that. I mean,
When-
there's people
yeah.
flipping channels. You know,
When it comes down to like those kinds of wild ass films, it's also very easy to merchandise them, and then hence makes it easier to get a distribution deal for it.
Because it just amazes me that those are like these straight to DVD, like or like Sci-Fi Channel picks. Where I'm guessing again, like maybe Sci-Fi, like we need to fill in the spot with just
yeah,
Brand-
it's
Yeah,
really is that
probably.
type of thing. I mean, that's the thing that TV has kind of
like when we
done.
talked about like the double features and
Yeah.
how there used to be like the A side and the B side,
Yeah,
and you just
we
kind of
talked
like,
about Grindhouse, you know,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
it was those types of the audiences, and it's important to note that somebody like Marty, like really, was really attracted to a ton of that, so much so that he followed, you know, people like underground filmmakers, people like Robert Downey Sr., people like John Cassavetes, like these guys were not, you know,
Juan Cassavetes.
yeah, these guys were not like A-list directors. They were underground guys, and the cool thing about somebody like John Cassavetes is that Scorsese directed Boxcar Bertha for Roger Corman, and you know it's trash. It's trashy. It's not trash. It's trashy. It stars David Carradine, by the way, Kill Bill David Carradine, and after that he kind of like he did a film called Who's That Knocking on My Door, which is the same characters as Mean Streets. It's the exact same characters. It's in black and white. It's an art piece. And John Cassavetes loved it. He loved Who's That Knocking on My Door. John Cassavetes told Marty, like, this is great. I can't wait to see what you do next. The next thing he did was Boxcar Bertha. And again, this is Roger Corman B film, and John Cassavetes basically sat Scorsese down and said, "You just wasted a year of your life making a piece of garbage. You need to go back to your roots. You need to go back to like Who's That Knocking. You need to make another personal story."
And that's where
Mean Streets was born.
Wow.
Was Boxcar Breaker like? Was it successful or?
No, I mean it wasn't successful in that chain of theaters. You know, it wasn't successful in that. Like I like to call them like Nickelodeon theaters. Like they're these cheap midnight, slot theaters.
Like dollar movie kind of situation.
But think grimy New York, people who don't have anything to do at midnight and go watch a picture.
Honestly, hot take.
Where's the salsa?
We need to bring that kind of culture back.
I agree.
Like I agree, dude. Like imagine you're just.
Well, you know what the
kicking
sad thing is?
That's not a hot take in this crew.
I think the sad thing is that a lot of those kind of like cheap
Flash in a pan pictures,
from what I'm researching or understanding now, is coming in like the vertical sphere. This weird.
Oh, that's interesting.
The weird kind of like pocket trash that you can just like.
It's like a step above like porn theaters. What porn theaters were. You know what I mean? Like honestly, really was.
If that's the case, then the vertical is probably like the best analogy for that. Because fucking dude.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, look, that's where Mean Streets was born. But it came from a much more personal place. Again, so you give somebody like Marty $300,000, and then he's able to tell a personable story. A lot of the techniques just on the filmmaking side came from the lack of budget. Sound familiar? It really is. Like people praise the handheld camera aesthetic of Mean Streets. He just didn't have money. He didn't have money for a track. Literally.
Dude. I was gonna say even the lighting of like Mean Streets, and it adds to the grime. Right. But the dimly lit halls, the hard to see angles, all that stuff. Even the fact that like a lot of these like fight compositions and all that kind of stuff. They almost have to happen like off screen or in a very awkward angle, and it adds to that realism. Right. Like But again, that's just because
it's almost like documentary feel.
Yeah.
If you see Scorsese's Italian American, it's like a great documentary about his parents. The look is the same.
Yeah.
It's the exact same. The lighting and the look it's very homey. It's very tangible.
Because even when I was watching the film and like a lot of the fight sequences that would happen, to me it reminded me like if a fight happened like at the tap. Just a very like closed off. You just kind of awkwardly have to watch these people do it. There's even a scene where they're fighting and you see a guy still trying to play pool. Like
the pool hall table, the pool hall scene. By the way, they had to shoot that thing for, I think it was 3 days, because they just had to keep changing the lighting setups to shoot the amount of coverage they were getting.
Oh wow!
That's how much of an indie this was. But a true success story too, which I'll say before we give our ratings. This thing premiered at Cannes. It premiered at Cannes. It got distribution through Warner Brothers. It was critically acclaimed, but it bombed because it was sandwiched between The Exorcist.
Overshadowed it.
Yeah,
sure.
and Clockwork Orange.
I saw a post today that was like, it's like all the fucking kids, the superheroes that get together for Captain Planet. It was like PTA and fucking Denis Villeneuve and all these like badass local or newer film directors. And then when it formed Captain Planet, it was Stanley Kubrick.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So yeah, that's just kind of a little bit of background on. And again, this film stars Harvey Keitel, Robert De Niro, some of the cast from The Sopranos. I forget the guy that played Richie Aprile, but
we need to talk about De Niro's performance after the ratings. Yeah, that shit was crazy.
Yeah.
I'd like to do something.
Okay.
I would like everybody to get their number. Mm-hmm. Ready and set?
Sure.
9156.
No. I don't need your mama's number. I already got it saved in my phone. No.
Was this everybody's first time? I know Eric's seen it before.
This is my
first time. Austin?
No, my first time when I was 17.
Oh, okay.
Her name was Desiree.
Aww.
I'm joking. Yeah,
20.
First time.
Anyway.
First time.
20. Wow. Next question.
No, I got my number, but I would like it for you to just point, number blurred out, so we can keep moving forward in the thing. Unless you want a nice little like number with a small explanation. I'm just thinking a rapid fire.
8.
8.
Solid 8.
Wow.
TK?
Wait, flaccid or hard?
7-1.
7-1. Eric, what do you give Mean Streets?
He says 8.5.
8.5?
7.9 with room to grow.
8.4.
8.4. I'm at an 8.7.
Okay.
I'm at an 8.7 because I think there's too much, man. I think there's too much to explore in this little packaged indie. I think a ton of that also comes from the fact that like it's very encouraging to remind us that as filmmakers, on the analytical side, I think there's a lot to unpack. I relate to this character a lot, coming from a religious background, coming from swayed in guilt to want to move on to a different life and kind of doing it on your own terms. I relate to this character a lot. On the filmmaker side, it's just encouraging to see that technical means dick. Good storytelling is good storytelling.
You know, that's the thing. I'm curious because I don't know about you guys, but at least when I'm forming my rating now, it genuinely there's like a feeling. It's just a feeling like this is what it sits at.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was even thinking about it when I was watching it. I could tell you what I don't like about it.
But for this one, it's hard to say because I think there's something we like about indie pictures, and the big draw is when an indie film is able to give you a very compelling story and it utilizes its lack of like budget or lack of like technical ability or whatever have you to enhance it, you know? We've all seen indie pictures that do that for us.
Yeah.
And then that's the question of like, if you rate it low, is it that if it benefited from more of the technical advances, would the rating go higher? Or does it come down to the story, or what does it come down to?
I don't know if enhance is the right word. I mean, it certainly is for a lot of films, but I don't think it should be. I don't think it should be a precedent. I don't think it should set a standard.
Here's a soft question. Oh, good.
Well, I was just say, I just think the indie format. Number one, indies become a really dirty word in situations. Our generation's version of indie is stuff like
multi-million-dollar projects.
Yeah. Well, no, even before that, I'm talking Juno. I'm talking. Talkies and Mumblecore.
Dynamite.
Yeah, Napoleon Dynamite. That's indie to our generation. So that's different than this, certainly, to a respect. So I don't know if the lack of resources should enhance anything. I think it should just exist. I think the lack of resources either force you to be creative or force you to lean into telling a good story. I don't think the technical, again, that's why for me, I'm praising like it means shit.
Do you have any interest in seeing Mean Streets with a Killers for the Flower Moon budget?
No.
No?
No, I think that's part of its charm.
Yeah.
I think that's most of its charm. I think that's what makes it feel so grounded, actually. These characters feel real. At the bare minimum, if there's one takeaway from Mean Streets is that these characters feel real. These characters feel vibrant and alive. They don't feel forced. Even Scorsese's mom in the 10 seconds she's on screen feels like your next door neighbor. You know what I mean? Like,
it almost feels like the lower the budget, the more real it's going to get. Because, I mean, realistically, you have to start going... What's up?
I'm sorry. Now I'm interrupting people. No, I was going to say that you start hitting that cinema verite, very like
documentary.
Real. It's real because it feels so close and it doesn't feel like there's as many barriers. Sometimes when a film, I think, is too polished and the shots are really, really pretty and all that, you don't feel the realism. You feel the story because it's in its own place now.
That's why I've encouraged people to go back. Like, as hard as it is, it's not an easy watch, like I said, but please do yourself a favor. Go back to the Scorsese shorts. Italian American is one of them, but it's not just you, Murray. And there's The Big Shave. There's these films that just feel realer and realer as you go back to his filmography. And most of the shorts he did while he was in film school at NYU. It wasn't even NYU yet. Scorsese was in college at NYU before it was NYU. It's called Washington Square College. And that turned into NYU.
Wow.
Have you guys ever been to Washington Square Park?
No.
Dude.
Yeah.
All right, that's for
It's
another,
a dream.
That's for another day.
It's a dream.
I don't
Can I
think
tell you what I
anybody in this
don't
room's
like
even
about
been
Yeah.
to New York.
I've been in New York.
I feel like the dialogue was a little bit repetitive, looped, and I think now that I'm studying it, I think that's what makes it feel real.
Right.
Because that's a conversation, right?
People stumble on their words. People, talk in their motions and in their routines.
Yeah,
Dude,
yeah.
And then in the middle of it all, you have a bomb like Robert De Niro's performance in this.
Yeah.
I feel like he was
It feels real.
underutilized.
You think so?
What?
Yeah, I really didn't relate to Harvey's.
No.
No, I think we should have
I
seen a
did.
little bit more of De Niro
That's interesting.
Yeah.
What was your favorite part of his performance?
when he finally snaps.
At the end when he cries.
Yeah. That was pretty good.
Yeah, that's heavy.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, just the dialogue, man. I don't know. I felt like there was a lot of improving and just rough around the edges.
Dude, you could see that they were having fun with each other, like especially in that moment where they're like, "What?
Yeah.
What?" You know,
I
just
wonder.
kept going and going.
I always wonder how. I'm always very reluctant when it comes to writing dialogue about our people, because I think it's easier for people to turn you into a caricature, and I don't like that. I don't like portraying the Mexican American
I've thought about it.
Chicano, typical dialogue front. I don't like that. That's why I like setting my characters to be Mexican American, but to talk like us.
Yeah.
And I think that I wonder where it starts getting lost, not in the minutia, maybe in the minutia of it all, because somebody like this it's a portrait into another world. It's Italian Americans set in New York circa 1960s. So I think that's what's great about it. It's almost like seeing a tribe whose language you don't speak on National Geographic. It's almost like watching that documentary, where to me it's enticing. To me it's like I want to see them in their element, and I want to dive deeper into this culture.
Yeah, and you know what? Like, I think that adds to the realism of it all.
Yeah.
Because for a minute, I at the very beginning, the dialogue was so.
Did it throw you?
It threw me. It threw me for a really, not a bad loop, but it threw me for a loop enough where I felt like I need to settle into the waters a little bit before this feels comfortable. Because even for a while, like I was like, I'm hearing them, but I don't feel like I fully understand. It wasn't until like later on that I did understand, and then that's when it became really personal. Once I felt like I was in the crowd now, if that makes any sense.
Can I toss something out there?
Sure.
I think as moviegoers, what?
I just said sure, dude.
Oh, I thought you said dick.
Dude.
Can I toss something out there? I think as moviegoers,
Home slice.
I see where you guys are coming from. I think as moviegoers, we get too obsessed with wanting to understand right away, and it limits you. It limits you to being open. I think people want to be spoon-fed stuff, and the minute they don't understand, the minute they're out of their comfort zone, it's code red. And I think that's what's special about getting out of your world a little bit.
I just feel like it wouldn't work today.
Really?
I
I think that improv, that whole like, okay, let them kind of improv the scene. I think that was a little bit too much. It works back then because it's barely Marty's third film.
I don't know that it has to do with era.
No,
I
I completely
we-
disagree, Costco.
I will
For
say
real?
this.
Yeah.
No, for justification for that.
Just lingering on the same topic and then really not going
But it's
anywhere,
not
and then it's in
the
another
same
place.
topic.
No.
I know, but
But just to like piggyback off Castro's point,
Yeah.
I will say that when we've had conversations, even when we talk about like pitching stuff, everything needs to be easily digestible and have some kind of commercial success. And something like this kind of
I
mumblecore
see what you're
film.
saying.
Yeah, like the only thing I think that comes close to it, but even that, everything was pretty on book. Was the Meyerowitz stories, where
I was gonna say Noah Baumbach,
Yeah.
the Duplass brothers. Like that's
it's real.
That's
but,
what it's catering to. A
But
little
again, that one's one that I think if you go back and listen to them, you don't hear the improv. You hear like very balanced, very good written dialogue.
I don't know. Is it?
I think
Is
this
it a niche?
This almost feels like it could be in like. Follow me for a second, but I think it could linger on the experimental with how much it feels like an extraction of standard palatable language.
I think what we deem as experimental, somebody like Marty is. You're not. You're very close. I think you're very close to the experimental versus the underground. They are two different concepts. Experimental is much more artsy. It's much more. It breaks the rules a lot more. I think underground is more exploring topics that people are afraid to explore because they're either too niche, too personal, or too gritty. And I think he's emulating these storytellers that do that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I think experimentals borderline Lynch, Warhol, you know, that type of thing. But I think Scorsese was leaning more towards a John Cassavetes, a Woman Under the Influence, you know, type of vibes. And it's hard to describe. It's hard to describe that era in cinema, that niche little block of cinema. I don't even think they could describe it because they're not trying to. And I think that's kind of the beautiful thing about something like Mean Streets. They're not going to try to convince you on this. They're going to try to say, hey, here's a story in this little piece of humanity. I don't want to over-explain to you. I'm going to set it here, and if you're along for the journey, at the end of the day, they're just human emotions.
It seems like
dissect it enough to just do that, you know?
It seems like the story's really like these ones, even though regardless of the budget, they always stay true to the theme.
Sure.
And whether it's whether it's told through comedy, drama, or like tragedy or whatever it is, like it's always feels like it's true to the theme.
Yeah.
And I
what
feel
would
like,
you say the theme here is?
It's got to be something along the lines of like, don't live your friend's life. Don't let your friends hold you down. You know, live your own. Because one thing I made like a little list of double features for this fucking one, and one of the first ones to pop up, or one of them is
Finding Nemo.
Finding Nemo. Of Mice of Men, and then City of God
Sure,
right
sure.
after.
Sure.
Know? So there, I feel like those are
Those are
like two
interesting
themes that are
terms.
really heavy on this. Very similar to Mean Streets, but
Yeah, I think it's, again, what I get obsessive about is, oh, man, there's a great picture by Fellini. Man, we need to cover this movie. In fact, it was a reference for this film called I Vita Ioni. It's about four goofball friends, and one of them wanting to escape the life that these guys are holding him back in. One of them still lives with his mom and parties all the time. The other one is getting divorced. The other one's getting married, and he's just like about to leave to college. And he's wondering, like, do I do this? Do I want to sit with my goofball friends for the rest of my life, or do I want to make something of myself? And it's a great Fellini film. It's probably top 3 for me. That's a good double pairing too.
What about
Husbands by John Cassavetes?
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm
Is it kinda
sure
like
a
that?
reference to it's really great.
I know it's another part of the world, but like, do you feel like the topics are similar for like? I know that this like this is a very cluttered New York vibe, but is the sentiment the same in something like Banshees, where that one?
Sure. I think there's something there. I
The
think like
exploration of like friendship and the separation and like balance of when you need to be there.
we have to ask ourselves. Keitel's character Charlie, what does he want? He wants happiness. You know, at the end of the day, he wants to be happy. And he's explaining, like, I think a lot about the girl, right? I think a lot about his girlfriend who says, hey, I'm getting an apartment uptown. Uptown to a New Yorker is another world, for all you know, if you've lived in the Lower East Side. This is Little Italy. So it's another world. It's like us saying, it's us, most of us are East Siders, if not all of us. It's like somebody saying, hey, you're going to move to the West Side tomorrow. It's a different world. It's just a different world. Yeah. So, like, the girl saying, hey, I want you to come with me. I also see how much it's inspired stuff like Good Will Hunting and that packaging of, like, the girl saying, hey, I want us to kind of do our own thing, and him being in so much in a comfort zone, similar to Good Will Hunting, similar to there's some of that, and then The Heights, where she's wanting to leave the Heights for this upper Manhattan apartment. There's something there where he has to ask himself, am I happy continuing to work for my uncle? Am I happy being with my goofball friends, making money illegally, defending my friends when I know they're in the wrong, stuff like that?
Let me ask that question real quick.
He's just straight edge, you know?
Why was he defending De Niro's character so much?
We don't really sink our teeth into that until you get to the argument with the girl, because he says, I have to be looking out for your idiot cousin all the time. It's for her. It's to please her. Yeah, I mean, naturally they become close friends through the process, but
he's just too much of a walk-up for him to be there again.
I think she represents his interesting safe haven to the point where, like, his quote unquote past life, somebody like his uncle who says, she's sick in the head. So no, she has epilepsy. She has acute epilepsy. Like I said, she's sick in the head. Like it's that thing of like they're so close-minded even to like that they criticize anything that's outside their norm. So for her, she's saying like, hey, I don't want this life anymore. I want to leave. I want you to come with me. I want us to start something new. And his attachment, I think De Niro's character represents his attachment to his current life. I think that's what it represents. I think his desire to seek out, for instance, religion is like there's something out there. And like I have to keep asking for penance for my life here. I can't just like live a new life. And I think that the exploration of the beyond, something like religion, it's outside of his world. But it's also his routine, you know? They talk a lot about in the church scenes of like, what's the point of this shit? Like we're Catholics, we're devout Catholics, and we say 10 Hail Marys, and then next week I'm saying 10 Hail Marys again. Like nothing changes. Like it's the same shit. So what am I really doing here?
I kind of get it. I'm trying to think back. Like back then, people were more religious than they are today.
They even bring that to the forefront again later on when they talk about the story of the priest talking about a car crash that happened. But then he's like, oh, but then, you know, when you go on the retreat again and it's a different guy and he tells you the same story.
Oh, right.
Oh, yeah.
And you know, then it loses that personal feel that it's, that again, even to them, it's just words. Nobody's actually practicing anything different, you know?
But
we're all just kind of stuck in our own circumstance. Or we're stuck in our own patterns.
Until you're not, right?
Yeah.
Until you're not. And I think that's kind of why this ending is interesting. I love the ending so much for two reasons. Number one, is this how far it has to go for their life to change?
Yeah, that was
you know, the death of the De Niro character, or maybe
Johnny Boy
of John Boy.
Johnny Boy.
You know, is that how far this has to go? Literally for life to make you crash into a new life.
Also, it's kind of like a magical realism moment in the sense that like they're going to a completely different side of like the city or town or wherever.
They're going to Brooklyn,
and they somehow get right next to this guy.
An emotional charge. I don't know if you guys picked up on that.
Yeah.
The minute they're on the Brooklyn Bridge, there's a new soundtrack. There's an emotional charge. There's a different ambience. There's a different vibe from all of the classical doo-wop songs that we heard for the first two acts. This is a different world. You know, it's new. It's for all they know, it's alien. You know,
and it's freedom.
And it's freedom. It's vast. It's a vast, endless nothing. They don't know what's out there, and I think that's interesting. The other thing that I love about the ending is there's a brief set of frames right before we wrote the credits of people people closing their windows. Like there's gunshots and crashes and people on the streets and ambulances, and this old lady's just like, I don't know. That's an interesting commentary. That's kind of like what I tried to explore in So Who Is It This Time with the streetcar. Like, yeah, dude, like life goes on. The world keeps on moving.
No, and I mean,
your life is not that important.
Also,
maybe
the fact that like anybody who would to witness the problem that's going on and to try to cause any type of meaningful social change is too insurmountable.
Yeah, it's impossible to somebody like that.
Again, they were saying like, oh, just pay the guy, and it's like, well, I don't have any money because I can't like work this job or something like that.
Yeah,
and like to get out of that system is so insurmountable. So you just kind of like turn a blind eye and say, well, I guess this is what it is. And then you kind of you accept it. And I feel like there's a passive acceptance that comes with something like that.
Or lack thereof. Or lack thereof. There's in modern times, if you're a hip hop head, I know Castro will understand me a ton here.
Yeah, keep it real.
And keep it real, homie. I think in modern times that's what the trap is. It's the trap. The trap is having to live in the projects in your hoods because you can't get a job because
for sure.
It's the trap. The trap of not being able to leave your neighborhood because you don't have the resources to, or you don't have the education to, or you don't have this, that, and the third, and
or you're so used to it,
or you're so used to it that everything else you're in your own bubble. I think in hip hop terms, this is their trap. I think wanting to leave to look for a better life, and again, they're not starving. They're just in a loop. They're in a trap.
Okay, so then tell me about De Niro's character then. Is he just a wild card, just an asshole?
No, I think he's in his own trap. I think he's stuck in his own loop.
Oh, I love that even more.
I think he's in his own loop, and I think he's the classic example of not wanting to change, not being because it's insurmountable, because it's almost impossible.
Yeah.
So with the ending, I got like, does he change? I know that's up to us, but I don't think he changed.
No.
The streets change him.
That's the thing.
Sure.
And I feel like the film's
Inbreeding
exploring when
change.
you have friendships or you have family or you have anything.
That's what I'm trying to explore. Like,
Yeah, if you have friendships or family that they live in a lifestyle that's just not gonna be good for you, or it's not gonna push you to grow.
Yeah.
And can anybody really escape that? Can anybody really like get outside of that wall?
Only if they want to.
And there's so many walls. There's the wall of like, if I leave my friends, right? Like, let's say if you have that best friend who's not good for you, and you leave him, well then you have no friends. And like, is that a good option? If you leave family and turn your back on family, how hard is that? And I think the ultimate one is that we open up the film with, can you even cross the line of your own religion? Like, I already don't feel like this is doing anything for me. The whole like, I'm going to come in here next week, 10 Hail Marys, 10 Our Fathers, and then what? And he knows that it's kind of like, like,
But he still can't leave it.
Yeah, it's like, but he can't leave it. And later on, they even have a conversation in the diner where they say like, what's with you? Why are you always with that like God stuff? But it's because
They laugh at him in the car.
Yeah.
When he out loud, for the first time ever in the film, out loud prays, out loud says, God, like,
God, I'm trying my best.
I'm trying my best. And they're like, is he talking to them?
But
They're
again,
cracking
it's
up,
because to leave something like religion is to accept that there's nothing on the other side, and that's terrifying.
But
so
even for our culture, right? For our culture, like it's that. What do you think? You're better than me thing. Like in our culture, it's you buy a nice house. That's a similar thing. Like if he decides to move out of Little Italy to the Upper East Side or the Upper West Side with his girlfriend in this fancy new apartment, he's almost opening up the door for his past life to be like, oh, you're too good for us, huh? You're leaving us.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to understand. So De Niro didn't want Harvey to.
No, because
De
that's
Niro's
that's
just
his
stuck.
So that's what I'm saying.
But that's his safety. Harvey Keitel is his protection. Harvey Keitel's big brother. Harvey Keitel will protect.
Yeah, he's the guy who it's like, oh man, hey, I made a mistake, but you got me,
But you
right?
got me.
Like, hey, we'll
just
still
talk to
good.
your uncle.
Because it really
Let's
pissed
go
me
talk to your
off
uncle.
when they go back to the bar and he gave him $30.
Yeah.
But then he spent and he only gives him 10.
Yeah.
So I was like, he's just an asshole.
He's just an asshole.
But
he's
the thing
addicted
is-
to that lifestyle.
Yeah. And even in that little monologue where it's kind of like he's getting ballsy and being like, I borrow from everybody around
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
And you're the only jerk off who still keeps giving me money. Yeah.
But he's saying that to empower himself
Right.
because he knows how low he is. But it also is super revealing that like he doesn't have any interest in becoming a better person.
That's what exactly.
And again, it's because of this challenge that to become a better person,
You have to abandon-
You have to change everything.
Yeah.
And a lot of people have the question of like, is change even possible? Like, is it ever really possible? And that's where again, it's complemented that later on, getting shot at is the ultimate like wall of like you either change or die. And like right now,
That's
right
his
here.
weakness. Charlie's weakness is John Boy. I mean, like it's his weakness. Let me put it this way: like you when you're trying to impress a girl, right? And you're dating this girl and you're talking to her and she tells you like, hey,
I'm gonna suck it.
I got my little brother who's like in a really bad spot and he's hanging around.
Really good example.
He's hanging around with these gangsters and like, can you talk to him? And then, Charlie talks to Johnny and says, hey man, like, I'm here if you need anything. Yeah, he's just worried about you. Like, what do you need? You need a couple bucks in your pocket or whatever. Let me bring you around to my friends. And then again, it becomes that trajectory of like, okay, I got him. I got eyes on him now, but I can't control him. He's a grown man at the same time, But again, how far am I willing to go? It started as this favor to my girlfriend who I love, who I want to be with, who I won't even admit to myself that I love. But now it's become, I love Johnny Boy. I love him. He's my little brother. I protect him. I can't just leave him.
Little brothers, yeah.
Even in a like sociology, there's this whole exploration of like human connection amongst like genders and all that kind of stuff. And it's so interesting to see that in a lot of these situations, the most difficult challenge for any of them is to bring up like communication or conversation on like what I'm feeling right now and how I'm gonna go about this. When you see him talking to the girl and she's like, well, just say like I found it such a unique moment when she's like, I love you, and he's like, I don't want to say that.
Right.
And it was like, oh, you don't want to say that you love me, but you do. And it's like, I don't want to say that. But what
Hold on. Sound familiar? That scene?
Are you calling me Iron?
I am. I think a lot about the Good Will Hunting scene where she tells him she loves him.
Oh.
Yes, the
And
fucking.
he says no.
You
He's
don't
like,
want to
yeah,
do that. You
yeah.
think I got these fucking scars from?
It's the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Will doesn't want to leave his Bostonian past to go to California. Will
true.
doesn't want to just tell her he loves her because he's afraid he'll get hurt. It's alien to him to accept and give love.
You hit
And
it on the
that's-
dot earlier when you said that like that relationship inspired the one in Good Will
I
Hunting.
think
a lot.
so. I don't know that that's for sure, but I mean, also Gus Van Sant is an underground kind of storyteller.
Exactly, dude.
He
Fucking
loves that kind
Mala
of cinema.
Noche.
Yeah, dude, Mala
Yeah,
Noche,
those
but
fucking-
everything. My own
Yeah.
private Idaho. It all feels like these.
Have you seen Elephant?
Yes, of course. I mean, but that's a heavy.
Have you seen the OG Elephant?
heavy thing.
Like
Yeah,
the
both,
iron? Yeah.
both.
I saw
yeah.
an elephant at the zoo.
Ele-
Don't you fucking say it.
Jason's not here.
Wow.
Jason's not here. No, but yeah, no. Again, I think that again you do have to die to thyself, and that's the hardest thing in the world to do
Hey,
for any change, any type
what's
of
a
change.
This is something that's been going, that I've been kind of exploring a lot lately. Is like watching the more cinema that you watch, the more relationships you get to see, and the more relationships you get to see, the more lessons you get to learn.
Yeah.
And it's almost like that's something that you get to experience in your own life that you get to implement. Like, for example, specifically these relationships, like maybe
Sure.
Gus Van Sant and Scorsese, they went through something similar when
Right.
it came down to their own personal romantic relationships. And if you're going through the same thing, watch the movie and
Yeah.
you'll see your own flaws. You'll see your own little areas to grow to.
I always feel that like
Yeah.
film and art in general is just an exploration of the human experience.
Yeah.
And as abstract as the visuals or the story might sound, at the end of the day, it's exploring a feeling that we've all had.
Yeah.
And that's why moments like that, the bedroom scene where
Yeah.
I guess they're outside the apartment,
hallway.
right?
Mhm.
The hallway, and that whole thing of like, you can't say words to each other
Right.
because emotionally it holds
You're
all
admitting
this
something
weight.
to yourself.
Yeah,
You're
and
admitting
that's,
something. You're putting
like-
something out in the ether that
like-
you can't take back.
comparatively to other films where you watch these people just say like, okay, I love you, and you obviously know that he's just saying that so he can satisfy her but go back to everything
Right.
else. It's like that. To me, it shows that he is so genuine and so vulnerable with her that to say something
Yes.
that he's not ready to say
When-
is too painful.
Yeah.
It's more painful than death almost.
When I see Mean Streets, I see this. I see the dichotomy of Keitel and De Niro, or Charlie and John Boy. I see the dichotomy of this. I see, if you've seen, like say Bergman's Persona. It's a much more exaggerated version of the point I'm trying to make, but it's this principle of being split between two personalities.
Yeah.
And when I see Mean Streets, I see these two as one person. I see John Boy and Charlie one person.
Completely opposite.
Exactly. That's the internal frustration. That's the internal thing. To die to thyself is a very religious principle in Christian and Catholicism. You have to die to self so Christ the Savior could save you, so that you become one with Him. So your human desires die so that you can have heavenly desires. It's a very common thread amongst like Christianity and Catholicism. So to me, these two characters represent like good and evil almost. They represent like the new life and the old life. And Johnny Boy has to die so that Keitel can live almost, So again, I think they're one person. I think they're one character. I think it's the internal struggle of like, I can't have what I want unless I let go of this.
So why didn't he give us that closure?
Because
Because it goes bigger than that.
Yeah,
It means more than the
I just
closure.
have to ask, yeah.
I think the one thing we're expecting is like, oh, this crash, this thing, John Boy's dead or he's dying or he's bleeding out and he's walking up, but he's also walking away. Mm-hmm. And these two are left by themselves. And then you see this girl's arm outside the windshield. It's like, she's fucked. She's dead. Now he lost everything. And she didn't. The closure we do get is they're both alive. They're both getting rescued.
They're getting
and
help.
John Boy's almost separated himself from the situation. Now it's just them two. Yeah? That now there's no trio. Now there's no like, he's not looking out for him, by the way. He's looking out for her. He's like watching for her if she made it out the car. He's not really looking for John Boy.
what's interesting is that I feel like this movie is in the vein of like an anti-Western, where it's not the guy who wins at the end and gets to ride off into the sunset.
Right.
They both are broken and have to live with their choices.
Yeah.
And I've noticed that in a lot of Scorsese films that he'll end it on a note where he's like, the world is going to keep going on, but the mistakes made throughout this film are going to live with these characters indefinitely.
I think a lot about The Outsiders when I see Mean Streets. I think a lot about
That's a good one,
the
Outsiders.
Dally character. I think a lot about the Dally character, who played by Matt Dillon, played brilliantly by Matt Dillon. I think a lot about what happens in that gang and what kind of change they have to go through.
Yeah.
And the Dally character is the representation of like the cold, hard grit gangster, the greaser. And you know, he's the one with the gun. He's the one who like hides these two and knows what to do when you're in trouble. And I think a lot about him when I think about De Niro's character in Mean Streets. I think a lot about how close those two would be friends.
Yeah.
You know, those two would be really good friends. Those two would get along. Those two would run amok. But Pony Boy kind of just wants out. Pony Boy doesn't really want part of the greaser gang. He wants to hang out with the socias. He wants Sherry. He wants to go out on a date. He wants to go to a movie.
Yeah.
He likes reading and writing poetry. He likes Robert Frost. He likes poems, you know, not everything that, the gold poem. That's Pony Boy. Pony Boy is the complete opposite, but that's his family. The gang is his family. He can't leave the gang. He has to go to the rumbles. He has to stay in that world. His brothers are the closest thing to him because he doesn't have his parents anymore. So it's hard to let go of that lifestyle, but your desires aren't any less. You know, you still want to get the girl and do something else and go to school. And, you know, I think a lot about The Outsiders when I think about Mean Streets.
Have we explored Johnny Boy's perspective, like in another movie? I'm trying
Yeah,
to think.
sure. I think Johnny Boy's an anti-hero. I think Johnny
I gravitate
Boy.
to those roles, and I want to explore those. Like I've seen that,
Yeah.
but I get it back in the day and didn't. But I don't know. I would like to explore it. I just think.
I think Johnny Boy, like you're saying, like that character being
how he got
the
there
main
to
perspective.
that.
Yeah, sure. I mean, but I'll argue that I think you get more of those stories. I think the anti-hero is very hot right now. I think the anti-hero has been hot for 30 years. I think we get more of the how did the villain become the villain?
True.
You know, why do we have the Joker? Why is the Joker so successful? I think we have those stories more than we have the guy who
is separating from a lifestyle.
I'm more interested in hearing why Keitel became religious. Is it a cultural thing? That's the surface answer, right?
Yeah.
But again, if I relate to him in the sense that like I grew up around gang culture. I found the church as a safe haven because I didn't want to be a part of the life because I kind of became scared of that part of the life. I had a grandmother who introduced me to religion, and you know what I mean? That was my life. So I'm more curious about why he's so attached to the beyond, you know?
Ooh, that's true.
And so that I'm more interested in that. Johnny Boy is a prototype, or an archetype. John Boy is the common gangster that won't change for anybody.
Well, that's what we see from that story. But
yeah.
When we dive deeper, we never know.
Maybe.
I mean, he could have been a priest or wanting to be a priest.
I don't think hardship. I think we have, especially hip hop culture. Hip hop culture tells you that you're not hard unless you've had a hardship.
Yeah.
Like you're not authentic. Yeah, you're not a real rapper if you're. You know what I mean? I think that hardship doesn't always mean arc, and I think that internal hardship sometimes outweighs that I live on food stamps. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In terms of like storytelling, I think we've seen the rags to riches story a million times. I'm less interested in that. I'm more interested in the internal struggle of a character that happens to live in that world. And maybe he's just an observer. Maybe he doesn't want part of it, but is he stuck? Is he not? Is that his trap? I'm far more interested in those kinds of storylines than seeing another anti-hero that is going to... Why does that guy rob a bank? Well, because he didn't have money growing up. Okay, cool. I don't know.
Well, you're simplifying the fuck out of it.
Well, I mean, yeah, but it's. I think we've seen that enough times, you know? And I don't think stories like Mean Streets are being explored. They're certainly not being explored in this capacity. They're being explored in Mark Duplass pictures.
Yeah.
They're being explored in, I didn't get the girl in high school and she got an abortion and I didn't love her. Like, that's how they're being explored. Genuinely watch Blue Jay. Great film.
All right.
But yeah, no, it's they're being explored in these really weird indie packages that I love. I mean, mumblecore. But they're certainly not being explored in the package of
Yeah.
a Mean Streets. Not anymore, I don't think. And the beauty of somebody like Scorsese is he's still exploring those things.
Yeah.
He just has more toys to play with.
What's to kind of round back?
Yeah, my bad.
No.
Can I just say my piece in this?
Slow down, cowboy. We're making a
it's
point.
Just, no. It's just I don't know why I want to explore those type of characters, and I know, like you saying, I think we've all explored like Harvey Keitel's.
No,
characters.
I think you're
No,
an
no, in
actor
that
who likes
capacity-
a juicy role. That's what I think. I think you're an actor who likes a juicy role. And that's a juicy role. De Niro's the far juicier role.
'Cause
Yeah.
look, I'm gonna give you a
Getting on
really
a
weird
building
example.
and shooting into the sky and then having to run away from it.
Breaking Bad.
Uh-huh.
We all went through the whole, Walter
Right.
White and stuff.
Don't spoil it. I haven't seen it.
Me neither.
We all wanted to know how Saul got there.
I didn't. I didn't get to that craze. I've never even seen Better Call Saul. I saw
No.
all of Breaking Bad and loved it.
It's
I
just,
didn't
to me,
care.
I find it fascinating.
You know who I would have. I know he comes out in Better Call Saul. I care more about the Mike character.
Really?
Yeah, I do. I care more about that guy.
I mean, yeah, he would be fun to
He's
explore.
interesting to me. He's like, I want to know how he got
But
there.
you don't want to know the lawyer that, got all these
Not really.
cartel members out?
Better Call Saul Goodman always seemed like a cartoon character to me, man. Like,
That's the beauty. So how did he become a cartoon character?
Like a GTA side character.
Yeah, oh, yeah,
he
100%.
seems like in GTA that mission of the
Colorful
the cult.
suits.
Yeah.
Like that dude who makes the infomercials or whatever on the cult. That's
Oh,
what
that's
that's what
100%.
Better Call Saul feels to me.
But yeah, that's why I'm just that
Yeah.
type of guy. Like, who didn't want
No,
to
but
explore
again,
that?
it's great. But I'm still stuck on science teacher, cancer,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
money.
Yeah, that's fundamental. Yeah.
It's almost like that's again the internal struggle that somebody like he became a villain through the course of
That was the
four
whole beauty
or
of
five
it.
seasons, whatever it was. I don't know. It's far more fascinating to me in this capacity.
I mean, I'm pretty sure people want to see Pony Boy's story
Yeah,
after so many years.
yeah. I think
don't know,
we
yeah,
need to
that's-
explore that
it's
again.
like
I think the internal struggle of the bank robber.
It's like Train Spotting too. Like,
Train Spotting.
have you guys ever seen it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where it's like a similar theme
It's
to
not
where
Danny
like
Boyle. Who is it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it is
it's
Danny Boyle.
Yeah.
It's Danny Boyle.
where like am I gonna take the money for myself and abandon this life and choose a job, choose
Yeah.
a wife, choose kids, the whole shebang?
I love those stories, man. That's part of, and that's good Will Hunting's fault. It's good Will Hunting's fault of like, tell the professor I said sorry, I had to go see about a girl, and then you just abandon your fucking life, and
Yeah.
you know what I mean. I love those characteristics in a character, and I want to see more of that. I want to see more of that in film. I think leaving
Same.
the audience wanting more, but in a classy way, in a way of like, hey,
That's
no,
what it
he's-
is.
It's there's something there for me
Because you
that
can
I
ruin the
love.
character as well, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly,
absolutely.
yeah.
You're shooting yourself in the foot as a storyteller. You're shooting your character. You're putting them in a box, and that's very dangerous sometimes.
And that's the movie magic, right? Leaving them with just enough.
I think so.
Yeah,
I think
that is true. I guess. Yeah, I don't want to see more Pony Boy.
I've got a question. Two-parter.
Questioning it up.
You
we
only
haven't
get,
we haven't had a Castro 2-part question in a while.
I'll figure
all
one.
right. You only get
figure
one
one.
part. You got to buy the rest.
No.
This
Is this
a
pre, current, or post Coke?
Pre.
Pre. Was
I
this the-
really didn't know about
He didn't get into coke till like his
Casino?
bombs. Taxi Driver and up.
Oh, okay.
Taxi Driver and up is when he started getting to coke.
Interesting. Well, that kind of. Anyways, is this the only thing he ever edited, or did he?
Okay, that's an interesting thing. So technically, he always kind of had Thelma attached to the hip. He edited this, but there was a lot more rules in the union and the ASC back then, and he basically, if you go to the IMDb, there's an editor that's credited that didn't edit this movie, but because he was Sid something. He was friends with Scorsese. He gave pointers to him on how to cut the film. He would give him notes. And Scorsese's like, they're not going to let me write, direct, produce, and edit this thing. The unions won't let me. Can I just borrow your name? But
Holy shit.
yes, it's the only thing he's edited.
I felt like a Italian American. movie.
I think his shorts.
Shorts, right, yeah.
His shorts. Everything before Mean Streets, he edited. But even Who's That Knocking at My Door is Thelma co-edited that. Thelma's been with him since the beginning.
Okay.
Like they met at Woodstock.
Oh wow.
When they were both working. He was working as an assistant editor, camera guy.
Don't you have a book with a picture of him?
I do. I think I brought it. Where Scorsese, there's a book I have of Woodstock that is not a film related book. It's just about the
comes out.
And Scorsese's in the like almost like security, like in the security line of the stage with a camera. Like he was a camera guy for Woodstock. That's what he was, and he met Thelma Schoonmaker on that. So, I think everything after this, Thelma took on.
Okay.
I have a question. It's a one-parter though.
It's a strong one part.
Can you make it a two-parter?
Sure.
You gotta
For
make it
fun.
a two-parter.
What's your question?
How?
So if you
second
listen to the
part-
first
sec-
20 minutes of this podcast, that's
sec-
how we made it.
Second part.
Corman helped him out, give him the money.
Second part. What?
Wow, that was deep.
What is stopping you from rating this like higher up? Like what? I mean, it's really weird that Scorsese sits kind of like on a pedestal of like director gods, at least to like us because of like his filmography.
Sure.
But you rated an 8.7. I think this would probably be like lower in the Scorsese film ratings for the most part.
Sure. I
But
think
what is it missing? Is it just he's missing the experience that's going to make him Scorsese later
That's
on?
where I rank it.
Yeah, I mean, naturally we talk about allowing them growth, right?
Yeah.
Allowing them growth as storytellers. But I think for me, which we'll talk a whole lot more about, everybody in this room is going to argue and burn me at the stake for the film we're going to talk about next week, which to me is what most people would deem the anti-Scorsese films. I'm far more interested in when he goes. Pharrell has this thing. You guys know who Pharrell is, hip hop producer. He has this thing about when he worked with Ed Sheeran, where he's like, the thing about Ed Sheeran is like, he's not afraid. He's here now. He's a pop artist. He's a pop fucking,
It's a legend already.
the legend, right?
Yeah.
He's not afraid to go down from the mountain and explore other realms. And I think that's what Scorsese is. Just everybody wants to pigeonhole him as the mob guy. He's not afraid to be like, hey, I haven't made a mob picture since Casino, in case you haven't noticed. But if you've noticed further than that, The Departed, sure, it's got mob elements. It's not a mob picture. I also did Silence. I also did Wolf of Wall Street. I also did,
True.
He's not afraid. And Age of Innocence to me is the most anti-Scorsese film. But to me, it's the exploration of longing. It's like if Scorsese took a stab in The Mood for Love. And that's far more interesting to me, to explore the human condition in those realms. So I think that's why it sits at an 8.7. I think Mean Streets is not a mob film. It's not.
No, yeah, and it doesn't.
Wow.
That's why I was saying at the top of the show, it feels so different from everything else because I'm expecting this like grandiose guy telling you in a voiceover like.
Yeah.
By the way, the
Ever since I
voiceover
was
was
kid-
Marty.
Really?
Yeah, that was Marty's voice, not Keitel's.
Wow.
I have a question for you.
Sure,
Because
what's up, pal?
we spoke, I don't know if it was on the podcast or out the podcast last time, that you have openly said that De Niro's not one of your favorites.
Yeah, it was on the podcast last episode.
Yeah, and I told you, I was like, Mean Streets. I don't see De Niro. I think De Niro kills.
Yeah, no, I didn't see De Niro at all in this, and I feel like I guess it's cool that I saw De Niro that felt like that spunky kid that needs to wake up, and I'm used to seeing him as the
leader,
the older, more composed, like, hey kid, what are you doing? Like straighten up,
matter with you?
like look, your tie's all messed
Come
up.
on.
Like, I'm used to that De Niro, and this was really interesting seeing the like. Oh, come on, kid! Like, go to school. Hold a job down.
How about you hold the job down?
Ooh, get his ass. Damn.
Not the first time I've heard that.
Just
But
kidding.
anyway.
You know what I couldn't get away from? So I always thought that De Niro only worked with Marty back then.
No,
I know,
De
but that's
Niro-
how I kind of see it. Like,
De Niro was introduced to Marty because of Brian De Palma. Brian De Palma had worked with him on a film, one of his early films. I forget what it was called. And De Palma said, "You got to work with this. You got to work with this De Niro
With
kid,
this
man."
kid.
That was
and
his
then
first
they
feature.
start
That was De Niro's first feature. That it's like
the
a
De Palma picture.
yeah, where he's like dresses like a schoolboy and
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah. Super young.
hell?
And then these two start talking to each other, and then you say, You're Bobby from Elizabeth. I'm on Elizabeth Street. You were on. They grew up
shit.
blocks away from each other.
That is pretty cool. Meant
You
to
know.
be.
So then they
cool.
started. Hey, you know this kid from the neighborhood. I knew this kid from the neighborhood, and so they know this world. That's why they've explored these.
I just
worlds.
feel like it's a huge jump that I really don't know about his movies from like Taxi Driver to like Casino or Goodfellas, I guess.
Sure. Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, I just never.
But
in my
again,
head.
because he's not afraid to go back
we've
down
just-
from the mountains and explore other territories. I mean, look, on paper, most people don't recognize that those set in these packages that he knows. Scorsese's made a musical. Scorsese's made a set of religious pictures. He's made comedies. He's made, like, you know what I mean? He's not, you can't pigeonhole the guy.
No, but I'm talking about De Niro. I feel like I didn't see him from like Taxi Driver all the way to like Goodfellas, and then he started doing like those films. I don't know why.
Okay.
He
Have you,
did some stuff, right? Like, in
Have
the
you seen
80s, I
Meet the
guess.
Fockers?
I was literally gonna say.
No,
Dude,
but that's
it's
later
such a
on.
banger.
I'm just saying, like, I don't really know about him, like during the gap of Taxi Driver and Goodfellas.
Well, we talked about, well, he did Raging Bull after Taxi Driver.
Yeah.
Well, then
So-
Raging Bull.
Well, we talked about Deer Hunter.
King of Comedy.
That's what I'm saying. That's where it came out. I was like, oh shit, he's
Right.
done other movies with other people.
Oh, of course.
No, yeah, I just always thought-
well, and not to mention, like, by the way,
'cause my-
the reason this is so important to note while we're on De Niro, there is no De Niro as we know him without Mean Streets, and it's not because it's his first time working with Marty. The Godfather 2 is a direct result of Mean Streets. The Godfather 2 Coppola cast De Niro because he saw him in
Because
Mean
of Mean
Streets.
Streets, yeah. No, yeah. I just, to me,
And I
in
mean,
my
after
like,
Taxi Driver, he did New York, and then Raging Bull.
and then after Raging
New York,
Bull,
New York.
King of Comedy,
King of
probably.
Comedy, Once Upon a Time in America.
Yeah. Once Upon a Time in America is a Sergio Leone film.
see,
so
that
he
tells
did
you I
work with
really don't know
somebody.
much about his
I
career.
love Leon.
I gotta.
Dude, working with De Niro's got a really good career.
Hell
He's got
yeah.
a really that's really fucking impressive.
Yeah, to work with De Palma, Scorsese, Leone.
Aubrey Plaza.
Oh.
Wow.
Let me know if this is out of pocket, but I've been thinking about this whole entire episode.
Aubrey Plaza.
Eric,
the
settle down.
documentary, what's it called? Italian American?
Italian American.
Would it be fucked up to just call it a spaghetti western?
Wow.
Hey, she does make pasta. She does. Scorsese's mom teaches you how to make pasta in the documentary.
Hey, how come she's not in any of his most recent films?
Yeah, she
You
was
know
a
what
great
her
actor.
last film was?
Probably
not even
aged.
last Scorsese film. I think Casino was her last Scorsese film. Her last appearance
Awesome.
in cinema was The Godfather 3.
Oh,
She makes a little cameo in The Godfather 3.
that's
Can
so
you
sweet.
timestamp? I gotta go 10-1 real quick.
I think we're wrapping, pal.
Really?
Yeah, this might be it.
Any rating changes?
Honestly, I'm bringing mine down.
I'm bringing
my
mine up.
God.
No, I'm just kidding.
I'm bringing mine up.
Actually, I will bring mine down to
This is why I love
6'9".
watching it with these guys. It's
6'9"?
6'9". Yeah.
Why?
No, dude. There's so
It's-
much more
there-
that's like. There's so much substance that I think.
Yeah.
I
I missed a lot.
Kind of like we talk about Flash in the Pan. There's something that you're going to capture in this film that I don't think could ever be replicated again. And I think it's not only a cornerstone in his filmography, and I'm glad you brought it to our attention, and to other people who haven't heard of it before, but also like you're not. We barely touched on it at the top of the episode, but I don't think you're going to capture that kind of storytelling again. You
I
know,
will
even
say-
if you
yeah.
wanted to, you'd have to make a period piece, and you'd have to change so much
Yes.
to get a
Well,
authentic.
I guess the
Peace.
reason why I'm cranking my Soldier Boy so low is because very much when it comes down
You
to like
kids and your Nolans and your.
not
hip-hop
even
and
that,
yeah.
not even that.
Your SpongeBob.
Is it
like,
Nolan? The
all
only one that
the-
didn't like it?
all the directors that we did work with that we mentioned here, like Cassavetes and like those dudes. I mean, they do this style consistently over and over and over. And this was like Marty's point of doing that, and he did it great. Don't get me wrong. But I feel like A Woman Under the Influence is better than this, you know? And then on top of that, talking about the recreation of it, you guys need to see La Haine from the French film, because it's basically this, but fucking like, and it was made in the 90s. It was, I think it perfectly recreated it. It has a very similar concept.
What is it called? Line?
La Haine. It's the hate in
La Haine.
translated in French.
Okay.
Don't get me wrong though, this is a banger. It's a fucking good one, but I feel like
6'9", son?
Yeah,
like
that
6'9".
doesn't
Can you
sound
beat
like a
them like
banger.
they did in the film? Just
Yeah. Hey, what do you mean 6'9"?
What do you mean? What?
grabbing
what?
me over the bar and shit.
I'm saying it a 7.9.
7'9".
I think it's just a very similar sentiment that we felt like with Wes and Nolan, that as good as this is, we know what he does later on.
Sure.
And I feel like you see this is like, if Marty built a table and just gave it to us before sanding it and staining it.
Oh, that's good.
So that's the only
Yeah.
reason I'm saying at a 7.9.
That's fair.
Yeah, I agree with Austin. I'll probably go up to an 8.2. Like, we know that he did better. This was kind of like a rough around the edges.
For sure.
But you could definitely tell, oh, this guy's going to be great. Like, you can
Yeah.
tell, like,
Yeah.
a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
No, I'm staying at 8.4. I'm happy with what this film is, and I definitely know that as I rewatch it and live with it more. What?
What?
He's on the floor.
Sanchez?
Oh, you scared me, bro.
Where is he?
Ooh.
Oh, yeah, nice. Him.
Yeah.
There's a ghost in the office.
Where
But-
this film is.
Yeah, the longer I sit with it and the more I like allow time to digest it, I'll see areas that I want to like incorporate like the highlights into like my own filmography to
Yes.
capture again this authenticity that I don't think you're gonna be able to capture again. These time capsule kind of films.
Yeah. And they're
a good one.
they're heavily layered time capsule films, and I mean, I agree. There's I don't know. I don't know. Spielberg says something, and I'll wrap with this sentiment. Spielberg says something about Scorsese that I think has always been a beautiful sentiment, and it'll counter CK's point. It'll give him a spanking. Give this kiddo a spanking.
Wait, can I watch the spanking?
Only if you take your
You
socks
gotta
off.
ask me for consent first.
Can I spank you?
Well,
Please.
damn, you put
Anyway.
me in a hard predicament.
Spielberg has a sentiment about he says, I've always been jealous of my friend Marty Scorsese and Hitchcock and these guys who only Marty can make a Marty film. So only Marty can make a Marty film. He's like, I've been told that I'm more of a chameleon, Spielberg says. Though Spielberg has his signatures and he has his styles. He's a very adaptable storyteller. You know, you can't really. Marty, he says, only Marty can make a Marty film, and I think Mean Streets is very much that. And I think Mean Streets, though it's heavily inspired by films like a Cassavetes or a Fellini, it's not that. He's not. He's emulating. He's definitely making it his own, and you can only make it your own when you've lived it. And this was a portrait of his upbringing, and only he can do that. So I think that's super special. I think that should motivate everybody on two levels.
Hell yeah.
It's personal. The person. I think who said it? Was it Hitchcock or who said the most personal is? No, it's Scorsese. Dumb shit. It's Scorsese said the most personal is
The most creative.
the most creative. The most personal is the most creative. And you don't need to know dick about technical to make a good picture. Oof. You don't.
Wow.
But you do need to know about Dick.
You must have
And
knowledge in the
with
wiener.
that, absolutely.
Next week.
Next week, we're going to cover Scorsese's take on an Edith Wharton novel. In the words of Entourage, have you ever read an Edith Wharton novel? It's the same story each time. The guy doesn't get the girl because that's how it was back then. But
Dude, spend all
Scorsese
your
makes
money.
it so special. And again, an exploration of logging that I think is fucking
Dude,
beautiful.
This poster looks like an MOW.
It does look like an MOW, but it's Scorsese.
Wow.
And you know what's crazier about it all? It's set in New York in the 1800s. He's still in his New York, bag. But it stars Michelle Pfeiffer, Winona Ryder, Daniel Day-Lewis. It's such a great picture. I really love Age of Innocence. And I'm going to try my hardest. The first time Sandra and I watched Age of Innocence, I got excited because I'm like, oh, cool, I'm going to watch this love piece with, at the time, my girlfriend.
That's beautiful.
Oh my God.
And we both fell asleep 10 minutes in. I did.
Nice.
I fell asleep 10 minutes in.
Have you attempted to see it since?
Yes. The second time I screened it, I fell in love with it. I couldn't believe that I fell asleep through this gorgeous picture. Next week we talk about Age of Innocence, and we wrap Scorsese month with Wolf of Wall Street, a fan favorite that we know people want to talk about. So let us know what you want us to cover next. We're going to be covering another director after 2 weeks.
Yeah, we'll say it later.
Yeah.
You
We
know
already
how
said
it
it. We already ruined it.
If they're real listeners, they would know. by now.
Exactly.
If you're the real
But-
shady.
Stay tuned.
Yes.
For other cool shit, we have a very special Tower cast coming out. I don't know when this episode's dropping, so forgive me. I don't know where I am in the timeline, but we have a great Tower cast coming up soon.
Hopefully multiple.
Hopefully multiple. Well, a set of Tower casts.
And
coming
we're
soon,
not
so-
exaggerating. I mean,
Yeah,
this
it's gonna be
is...
This is actually kind
Yeah.
of a
And
banger,
no pencil?
honestly.
This is like slap your grandma,
and your
grandpa.
cousin and your.
This is like
This
Your
is like
mailman.
this is like the excitement of 27 dicks. That's all I'm gonna say. Thank you for tuning into the WatchTower Film Podcast. Good night.
Good
Love
night,
you guys.
everybody.
What if I told you I wasn't recording before?
That camera was. I can tell you that much.
Good night, everybody.